So next thing we have to define a thinning. So thinning of a set A வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா by a structuring element B, so which can be defined by terms of the heat and the mass transform. Okay. So more useful expressions for thinning A வந்து which is symmetrically is based on a sequence of structuring elements. So இப்போ வந்து rotated version of B இருக்கும். So using this concept வந்து we can able to define thinning by a sequence of structuring elements over on it. The next thing what we can able to see it of a B now, the process is to thin by one pass with B. So then thin the result வந்து with one pass with B over on it. So on until A வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா which is thinned with one pass with B. So entire process என்ன ஆகும்னா will be repeated until no further changes occurs over on it. So வந்து it will be performed using that equations. The next thing we have to define thickening. So thickening அப்படிங்கிறது பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா we'll have a morphological dual of thinning. So in the definition of thickening வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா it can be defined as a sequential operations. That is, we'll have the structuring elements which is used for thickening have the same form as in thinning over on it, but with all ones and zeros to be interchanged. So in the morphological image processing, thickening plays an important role, which is to define for the structuring elements. So similarly, a separate algorithm for thickening வந்து என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா which will be used in practice. Okay. So instead வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா the usual procedures வந்து is to thin the background of the set in cosine. So and then we'll have a complement the results over on it. But in other words பார்த்தோம்னா in order to thicken a set A, we form வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா Cங்கிறது பண்ணுவோம். So that is which will depends on the nature A. The procedure வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா will result in some disconnected points. So therefore thickening by this procedure வந்து will require a simple post processing step to remove the disconnected points. Next வந்து thinned background forms வந்து a boundary for the thickening process இருக்கும். So this feature which does not occur in the direct implementations of thickening. So this is one of the reasons for using background thickening to accomplish the thickenings over on it. Okay. So this is a thickening example. So set A நம்ம define பண்ணிருக்கோம். So complement of A. Complementங்கிறது என்ன சொல்லிருக்கேன் நான்? அதாவது set A ல இருக்கிற இல்லாத values வந்து we have to define over on it. Okay. So result of thinning the complement of A. So அந்த part மட்டும் thin பண்றோம். Next thickened set obtained by complementing C. So third figure ல இருக்கிறத complementing a thickened set மாத்திரம். So final result வந்து with no disconnected points. So ரெண்டுக்கும் இல்லாத points வந்து will be matching over on. Okay. This is a thickening example. The next applications what you have to see it of அப்படின்னா we have to go with the skeleton. The notional skeleton set of A வந்து என்ன பண்றோம்னா S of A பண்றோம். So if Z is a point of S of A அப்படின்னா D of Z is the largest disk which is centered at the disk and contained in A. That is, one cannot find a larger disk that fulfills this term. So இந்த disk பேர் என்ன சொல்றோம் அப்படின்னா maximum disk ன்னு சொல்றோம். Okay. So இந்த disk வந்து which touches the boundary of A at two or more different places. So this is about a skeleton. So skeleton of A வந்து which is defined by the terms of erosions and openings. So S of A அப்படிங்கிறது so union of K is equal to K 0 to K is K of A. So அதோட வேல்யூ என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா which is that is A difference with the set of KB and A difference of KB. So அந்த Bங்கிறது structural element, அந்த A hyphen of KB அப்படிங்கிறது which indicates K successive erection of A. அதாவது K times and Kங்கிறது last iterative steps இருக்கும் before A erects to an empty sets in other words. Okay. So in conclusion நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா S of A அப்படிங்கிறது which can be obtained as the union of skeleton subsets Sk of A. Okay. And the next thing வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா so this is skeleton example. So which first figure shows the set A and similarly we'll have a various position of maximum discs இருக்கும். So அந்த maximum disc on different segmentல இருக்கும். So complete skeleton வந்து வரைஞ்சிருக்கும். And similarly we can also be reconstructed from subsets Sk of A, which is by using the equations, so which denotes K successive dilations of the values over on it. So next one, pruning வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா it removes the parasitic component, complement to thinning and skeletonizing by successive elimination at its end point over on it. And the last one to be the grayscale images. So grayscale பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா f of x, y. So input images இருக்கும். B of x, y structuring element இருக்கும். X, y அப்படிங்கிறது integers இருக்கும். So f of x, y, B of x, y or the functions வந்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா that assigns the level so to each distinct pair of coordinates. So for example, and the domain of gray values வந்து பார்த்தோம்னா which can be from 0 to 255 where வந்து ஓங்கிறது representations for a that is 0 which represents for a black and similarly 255 which stands for an white orange. So this is the grayscale image representations. We'll have a f of x comma y. Okay, and the next thing, where is the x representations, and we'll have a y representation over it. Okay, so the remaining thing that we can see in the next class. Thank you all.